It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso. It has been a very interesting show, and this next discussion, very pertinent for me at the moment because I am experiencing back pain. I think many of us have experienced back pain. It's kind of a unifying force amongst the cameramen and I here. At one point in our lives, we've all felt that pain, and for some, this may be a reoccurring issue and very debilitating, whether it's caused by bad posture, lifting something heavy, which was my case, an uncomfortable work chair, even arthritis. Back pain can be quite debilitating and very painful to deal with. So we have invited in Dr. Grant Webb, and he's going to chat to us about how we can manage back pain and when we should consider seeing a medical professional and what we can do about it. Doc, thanks for joining us. Thanks for bringing your spine with you this morning. It's something, as I was saying, and it ain't no joke, that I'm dealing with at the moment. How prevalent is back pain from someone who works in the field?
Well, Graham, the statistics show that 85% of the world's population suffer from low back pain at some point in their lives, and 35% suffer from mechanical neck pain. So it's a global epidemic. Yes, absolutely.
That is incredible. So you mentioned neck pain as being one. Back pain, what are the most common forms of back pain? When people come to see you, what are they generally?
Well, we get the muscles that support and move the joints in the spine. They can cause problems. You can injure a muscle, you can tear a muscle, lifting something heavy. You can injure the discs. The discs are the little soft tissue structures between the vertebrae that cushion the spine and also keep the holes open where the nerves from the spinal cord come out. And then thirdly, you can injure the facet joints, which are these small little joints in between the vertebrae. They're very small joints that hold a lot of the body's weight and also guide and restrict movement. And they're very easily injured, like any joint can be injured. And that's where most of the problem comes from, is the joints themselves.
It's so dynamic. Looking at it laid bare like this, you can see that it's a dynamic system that is, in fact, carrying the weight of your body. Never mind your head, which obviously has a massive amount of weight, but it's such a dynamic system that has to support so much weight. How then do you approach treating back pain? Where do you start?
Well, interestingly, most of us today, most of the workforce is sedentary. We sit in front of our computers, we drive our cars, sit in front of the telly, and our curves have become reversed. As you can see from the spine, it's got a natural S-shaped curve to it. And that's very important because you can see the vertebrae go from small at the top of the spine to larger towards the base. Okay. The result of that is that the larger vertebrae at the bottom are the ones that actually have to deal with most of the body weight. And that S-shaped curve is very important to dissipate the weight of the body throughout the vertebrae and throughout those discs that get larger towards the bottom. Now, because we sit a lot, our spines lose their natural curve and they become much more flat. They lose that S-shaped curve. Now most of the body weight is centered straight down onto the lower vertebrae. And therefore, most of the problems in the spine are in the lower back because most of the body weight is centered down there instead of dissipated through that S-shaped curve.
Wow, that's actually incredible. And you kind of think that your back must be nice and straight. You forget about that, or you don't know about that curve.
Yes.
I injured my back whilst moving, I think. And this is the problem. Often you don't know if it could be an injury that's built up over time. It could be a moment where I've done some muscular damage. The chiropractor that I'm seeing reckons that and you actually know, Dr. Taylor,
yes,
that I possibly bruised one of the discs, the cartilage in between two of the vertebrae. At what point should you say, okay, my back is sore enough to go and see someone? When do we go and seek the help of a medical practitioner?
Well, generally, if you're suffering from back pain that's not relinquishing within a week, I would say it's time to seek a professional's help. Because often if you leave it, it can start off in the joints or the muscles. It can go into the disc. And if the disc gets more severely injured, then you get nerve root pressure. And the nerves from the lower back run down the legs. The nerves from the neck run down the arms, and all the nerves in between supply the organs. So when you get nerve pain, then you're in more trouble. That's severe pain. Patients presenting with low back issues, nerve pressure, often have sciatica, which is pain down the leg and also weakness in the muscles if you leave it too long.
And that is, I mean, I went through probably about an 8-month treatment to eventually correct that, because it really is part of a bigger dynamic system. What can we do about general back pain?
Well, first of all, seeking professional help if it's lasting too long. That's important. We've got to realign and unlock the joints in the spine. And also, certainly training, exercising, keeping the body strong is very important. Mostly we find that the extensor group in the spine is the area that gets weak because we tend to sit in forward positions all the time, as I mentioned earlier. So going down to the gym, doing resistance type training is very important to help prevent and alleviate back pain. And also in the long term, help encourage a good posture that will prevent further recurrences.
Just very quickly, when you say resistance type training, what kind of exercises would be good for that kind of...
For lower back pain specifically, extensor exercises for the lower back muscles, all the deep tissue muscles in the lower back. So going down to the gym, either swimming lengths in the pool or actually doing an overall weight training program. I always suggest to patients, though, that we don't just focus on the low back, even though that might be your particular problem area. We need to work on and encourage a good posture throughout the body. If your bicep and tricep are strong, then your elbow joint is strong and less prone to problems. So when you look at the spine, you want the whole spine to be strong to encourage that upright posture that we so tend to lose as we get older and because of our work positions.
Thank you for the reminder. I shall adjust my posture right now. It's worth bearing in mind that so many of these issues are caused by that sedentary lifestyle, as Doctor has pointed out here, but you can seek help and you can do something to be proactive about it. Train your body, stretch, do something before that pain becomes chronic. And if it is chronic, I can certainly relate. Go and see a professional. Doctor will have to do elbow for today. So those who are experiencing back, remember to always visit your pharmacist first, and in more serious cases, visit a medical professional who can assist you in how to relieve that pain you are suffering from. There's no point, no need to carry on suffering.